Hi YouTubes, I just wanted to show off a new project that I was pretty pleased with. It's a looted Dreadknight. I'm using it as a Forge World Mecha Dread. I put it here next to a Morkanaut and a actual Forge World Kustom Meka Dread, just for comparison's sake. Yeah, it used to be a Dreadknight, as you might tell from the legs. The body was actually the leftover from the water tower. The water tower shoulder pad from the Stompa kit. You can't really see it very much because it's covered up with lots of bits and gubbins. It's got a lot of the weapons you can see are just pretty straightforward modifications. These are fixin' claws. They're just repurposed Def Dread lower arms. I took the claws off and just added plates to make it look like vice grips. They're used for fixing, not crushing. I also added some burners to act like welders. Let's see what else. I was very pleased with the way this claw came out. It was all plastic art, as you can probably tell. I did have to use the Dreadknight arm just wasn't long enough, so I had to use a Def Dread arm and kind of slap the Dreadknight arm on top of that. So it's kind of a three-jointed arm, but I still like the way it came out. I was also pleased the way I made the hydraulics. They actually move. The claw actually closes, which is pretty fun. You can put stuff in and crush it like that. I can open it again if anyone's looking or interested in replicating it. I'll try and do a slow turnaround if anyone's interested in the actual mechanics of how it works. It's really not very difficult. It's just a couple plasticard plates, a couple plastirod pivot points, and a couple just plastatubes. I mean, there's one small tube that goes inside the hollow tube, and that's really all there is to it. It just kind of, it's not perfect. The plastatubes here do bend a little bit, as you can tell, but it doesn't really seem to make a big difference. What else? These shoulder pads are actually PVC pipe. They're I think they're a 1/2-inch PVC, just whatever seems to work. This is, of course, the Morkanaut head. This is the Def Dread jaw. They seem to go pretty well together. This is I'm using this as a shunta. It is, of course, it used to be a Necron Doomsday cannon. I was worried about it fitting on a Dreadknight frame, but it looks pretty good. I slapped on a bunch of leftover bits from the. It's actually magnetized too well. There we go. I slapped on a bunch of leftover bits from the Mech Guns kit. You can see the Bubble Chukka and the Tractor Cannon, primarily. Then a bunch of glyphs and bits. Nothing too special. This is where the other arm went. This is what I'm using as a Big Zappa. This used to be a Tesla Destructor, also with a couple of Mech Gun bits. I put on a big old, it's supposed to look like a car battery. It's an electric powered gun. You can see this is where the other Dreadnought arm went. I initially wanted to have it sticking out of the socket, but it just didn't look right. So that tip is the tip of a grot prod. I found it fits very nicely inside the twin-linked Tesla Destructors and makes it look nice. I have no idea what this is. I have a bits box. I have like 8 of them. If anyone knows what the hell that is, let me know. I don't know. I had a bunch of them laying around that seemed to fit. Clip, and there you go. He's also got two accessories as well. This is one. I'm using this as the what was it? Rocket bomb packs. It's basically just a lava that can run out of ammo, but it has D3 shots, which isn't bad. And then nothing too fancy, just come on, there we go. Just a custom force field from the Morkanaut. Around the back, This was my take on twin V8 engines. I was trying to replicate the back engines of the Mecha Dread. The detail on the Forge World Forge World stuff is absolutely fantastic. It's hard to replicate. But I just made a couple of V8 engines, big old fuel tank here on the bottom, hydraulic lines and fuel lines going everywhere. Smokestacks, of course, those are always useful on an Orc walker. Or Orc anything, really. The legs, I didn't do much with the legs. I was going to cover them up, but I didn't think it was going to look very good. But the legs on their own just looked too scrawny. So I just added some big old hydraulic pistons, which are again just plastitube and plastirod inside plastitube. The back of the legs look perfect for Orcs, I think, because you know, there's all those wires and stompy things. Added some spiky bits to his feet and toes. Had some leftover Def Dread helmets, heads for kneecaps. I thought that looked okay. Belly plate is just a leftover, I don't know, plate. Just a leftover hatch I had somewhere. You can see the bottom of the Stompa shoulder water tower gun on it. And that's really all about there is to it. It was a lot of fun to make. I was very pleased with the way it turned out. At first I was really concerned about the Dreadknight just not being too big, because they're not a terribly large model. But I was able to beef it up with lots of orky goodness. But I just want to take a video to hopefully inspire or give any other mechs out there an idea for their next project. So, well, let me know what you think. Hopefully the lighting was good enough around here, but that's about the size of it. Bye-bye.